All right, folks, the time has come. Lesson 23, mini project, the flyer game. So, in this flyer game, the player tries to collect the coins and the rocks push the player across the screen. When the player goes off the screen, the game is over. Play the game a few times and discuss with your partner. So, let's see what's going on here. Well, I wasn't ready. Oops. Oh, it's the up arrow. Haha, the up arrow. No. And side. Whoops. Well, I am not very good at this game, folks. Hopefully you're better than me. One thing I do notice is you gotta keep pushing that up arrow or he just falls right off. So we're gonna make some kind of version of this same similar game, okay? So you've already made side scroller games before. So flyer game. Now instead of dealing with jump, X and Y, we're going to be dealing with fly, right? Okay, so first we have to create our sprites. You already have a player sprite, but you can change its animation. You'll need a player, which is the flyer, a target, which in this case is the coin, and two obstacles. In this case, they're rocks. You can make them anything you want. So here's what you've got to do. Notice it says do this. Go to the animation tab and make sure that you have the images that you want. The flyer, coin, and rock are already there, but you can use whatever you want. Find the code command game setup. Create 3 different sprites, the target and 2 obstacles. Set each sprite to the animation. Scale each one. Place them where you want them to be. And in the game, the obstacles and coin were placed randomly, but you don't need to do that just yet. Set the starting X velocity of the obstacles. Test the program. The player and target should be on the screen, and the obstacles should start off screen and move across the screen from left to right and up and down. That's a lot to unpack there, so I may be coming back here to reread all of this just to make sure that I get it all right. So first I hit run. Okay, I got a little flybot dude. All right. What do I got back here? I've got a coin and I've got a rock. Okay. So I know that I have. It told me to start with game setup. So I've got my fly dude. I've got to put my obstacle. I'm using OBS for obstacle. OBS for obstacle. Remember, I always start with a variable to create place where it goes, and then I create a set animation to assign the picture to the variable. So an obstacle will be the rock, and I need target. And in this case, my target will be the coin. Spell target. Target, and it's the coin. So let's see. Okay, so we've got them both there. They're both in the same spot. So let me move. Let me move some things. Let's see here. Okay, so I've got my coin up here. I've got a rock here. I need another rock. So I'm going to go OBS 2 and OBS 2. And also set this to the picture of the rock. And I'm going to start this one at, what am I going to start it at? I'm going to start it at 5 and 5. So rock up here, rock right here, fly dude, coin dude. Now, what did it tell me to do? Oh, and by the way, you can use whatever sprites you want. You don't have to use these. Create 3 more sprites, the target, 2 obstacles. I did that. Set each sprite to the animation you chose for it. Did that. Scale each one. Okay, didn't need to scale them, but if I did, I'd use a sprite.scale. Place them where you want them to be on or off the screen. Okay, I've done that. In the game, the obstacles and the coin were placed randomly. Okay, set the starting X velocity of the obstacles. Okay, so I've got to do that. So, according to my diagram, come on, diagram, where are you? Okay, let me watch. The coin doesn't move, but the obstacles do. Okay. So, obstacle 1, velocity x, OBS. Remember, it's this one. That's the first one I said. OBS velocity x is going to get a 4. Okay, let's test it. There it goes. And OBS 2 is going to get a y velocity. OBS 2, y velocity of 4. That way it goes down. Whoops. Whoops. This is why label's important, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's try that. There we go. Okay. All right, so that's our starting velocities. Double check. Starting X outcome. Test the program. The player and the target should be on the screen. The obstacles should start off and move across the screen from left to right and up and down. Okay, they do. So far, so good. Hit finish. And continue. All right, for bubble 3, we have to determine falling. If the user doesn't do anything, the player sprite should fall. Find the falling. Use the counter pattern with the player sprite's velocity y to make the flyer fall. Test your code. Okay, so we're going to go down here to falling. So there's falling. So if you remember, we're going to use velocity y because up and down is y. And this is called, oh, I forgot already. What's it called? It's called player. Player. What's up, player? Player. For goodness sake. Type. There. Hey, I typed. Haha. So player velocity y, and I want it to increasingly get faster as he falls. So I'm going to go player velocity y gets player velocity y plus player velocity y plus, I'm going to do 0.25 because I don't want it to be crazy. I do want it to fall. It still felt kind of slow. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll do like a 0.4. Whatever you pick is fine by me. It's your game. Yeah, that was a little better. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at player velocity y plus 4. So is that all I'm doing here? Find the code comment falling. I did the counter pattern. The player should fall, and he did. Okay, so level 3 is finished. If you need to pause to take a look at my line 20 that I just added, you're welcome to do so. Moving right along. Moving right along. And as we work on this flyer game, you need to make some decisions about what type of collision detection you want to use. If you want to set it up to score, to be an actual game like you did with the side scroller game, these things are up to you. So now we're going to do jumping. Next, the sprite needs to jump when the player presses the up arrow. Well, you know me, I like the space bar better. Find the code comment player controls, add an if block that checks if the user is pressing the up arrow, add code inside the conditional that will change the sprite's velocity to move up if the up arrow is pressed. Test your code to see how it works. Okay. So I'm gonna come down here. Change if it hits up. Okay. So if statement here. So if key down, and of course you're welcome to use the up. If key down, I honestly think I'm going to do AD in space. So I'm going to set this up for space. You set yours up for up or whatever you want. It's your game. So if key down space, I want the player velocity y. Player velocity y. I want it to go up. So I'm going to set it for a -4. Let's see what happens. Nope. Nope. Now he doesn't go up very fast. If I want him to go up faster than that, then I can do this. I can do math. And gets velocity y minus 0.4. Let's see what happens when I do it that way. Oh, that really sucks. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. That was horrible. What if it's minus 1? That's a little better. Not very fluid though. You see that? I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that. I like that. I like that. I'm going to leave it at plus or at minus 4 for now. Maybe even a minus 5. Maybe I like that better. Minus 5. Let's see. Oh yeah, minus 5 is a little better. Key down space. He goes up. Okay. Now, what else do I have to do for this one? Move up with the upper test. Okay, so I did that. Pause if you need to see my line 27 and 28. Otherwise, hit finish. Da-da-da! It's super slow. Okay. Floating left and right. The flyer should also be able to float left and right. Find the code command player controls. Add a conditional that decreases the sprite's x velocity when the left arrow is pressed. Add a conditional that increases the sprite's x velocity when the right arrow is pressed. Add a conditional that increases the sprite's x velocity when the right arrow is pressed. Hint, your code should be a counter pattern and a velocity x velocity. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Okay, so I'm going to go down here. So I'm at underline 31. 31 says decrease the x velocity when the user clicks left. So I'm going to go if key down, if key down, and I'm going to say A because I'm left-handed and I want to use A and D and space, but you can use left and right and up. Totally your prerogative. So if key down A, then I want my velocity X player, spell player. The medicine's wearing off. If player velocity X, let's see, player velocity X gets, what's it get? It said a counter pattern. I'm going to try this first. I want to see if it works. Oops, sorry. Okay, that works. I might be a little fast. I might only want a 4 for that. Then I need a key down. And line 36 says if the x velocity, increase the x velocity when the user clicks right. No, I'm not going to use right. I'm going to use the letter D. I'm left-handed. That just feels better for me on this little keyboard. Okay, so then player velocity x gets positive 4. So let's test these out. A, D, and space. Space, D, space, A, space, D, space, A, space, D. Okay, so far so good. Is this everything I need? Test the code. Did it work? Yes, it worked. Code should have a counter pattern and a velocity. Why does it want a counter pattern? I guess so it can go faster and faster. So if you want to set it up with a counter pattern, you are welcome to that. You are welcome to that. Okay. Pause if you need. Let me move this up for you. If you need to see my line 27 to 39, pause. Otherwise, hit finish. Everything is super slow. 506. Okay. When the obstacle move off the screen, move them back. Oh, we've done that part before. We know how to do that. Okay, so looping. So if obstacle X is obstacle, let me double check. I think obstacle is the one. Yep, obstacle is going to the right, and obstacle 2 is going down. So if obstacle X is greater than if obstacle X is greater than 405, because I want it to be completely off the screen, then obstacle X gets -5, because I want it to be way over here, and because I want it to be adventurous. Let me change obstacles Y value to be any random number between 1 and 395. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for obstacle 2. So obstacle 2 is starting up here and it's dropping down here. So that means that's also a greater than, but this time it's a greater than Y. So Y value is what's changing. So OBS 2, if OBS 2, Y is greater than 410, pick whatever number you want. I'll take 410. Then we're going to reset obstacle 2's Y value to -5. And we're going to set obstacle 2's X value to be a random number 1 to 395. Why? Because we want them little puppies to come back in different locations. You see how they came back? Okay, see how they just show up in different places? Showing up in different places. That's what we want. So have I satisfied everything for this level? Okay. Move off the screen, test the code, add conditional checks with the vertical obstacles, Y property. See what it is, move off the screen. Okay, so I've done all that. Done all that. So if you need to see my code, line 23 to 29, pause, otherwise hit finish. Sprite Interactions. When the target touches the coin, you should reset it to somewhere on the screen, and the obstacle should push the player across the screen. Okay, so let's start with the coin. Player controls, Sprite Interactions. I'm down here. Oh, thank you, thank you. They put in like 59 for us. I kind of looked ahead and I thought, holy smokes, if you guys got to put all that in there. But they took pity on you. They pitied you. All right, so Sprite Interactions. Reset the coin when the player touches it. Okay, so if, whoops, let me put that down there. Not that it matters, but whatever. So if, right here, if Sprite is touching target, if player is touching target, we want target X, its random number 1, 2, 3, 95. Let's say 5. 1 is awfully far over there. And target Y It's random number 5 to 395. Let's test it to see if it works. It seems to work. Ah! I floated off the screen. I floated off the screen. It's okay. All right, now let's make the obstacle push the player. Ooh, okay. So if let's see here. Which one of these do I want? Let me consult my cheat sheet. Which one did they use? Ooh, okay. So they didn't use an if statement at all. All right, take that off. So we're looking at collide. So if player collide will be S. And oops, if I could spell player, that would help. Yeah, okay. So if player collide obstacle, and if player, I don't know why I'm saying if, crazy. All right, so we've got a collision set up here. So let's see what happens with collision. You see how it kind of doesn't let me, see how like shoves a little doodad? A little doodad. Look at me, I said I would code for A and D and space. Spam's calling me. And I'm using my up down arrows. I'm being silly. Okay. No. Don't shove me off the screen. He did. This dude does not like me, man. He does not like me. Well, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Hopefully you all are better than me. You've got that young hand-eye coordination. That reminds me of Koopas with Super Mario Bros. One thing I'm missing is like a scoreboard. Don't you think? I think I got this. I think I got this nailed, folks. Okay, so if you want to pause to look at my line 57, 58, I added player collide obstacle and player collide obstacle 2 so that the obstacles would not give. They force the player to move, and that's what I wanted. I want them to be true obstacles. Did I satisfy the instructions? Create new. Yes, I did. Okie dokie. Finish or hit pause if you need it. I am waiting for the computer to load the screen. Okay. Review the game. Test your game to make sure it has everything that it needs. Play it several times. Read over your project guide and check to see if you followed the plan. Master the plan. Okay. Make any last minute changes. So this is where it's up to you. If you're happy with what you got, turn it in. If you're happy with what you got, turn it in. If you're not happy with what you got, then add a scoring mechanism. If you're happy with what you got, turn it in. Ha 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 ha. All right, folks, that is it. Now, if you want to know how to set up your score, hey, go back and look at lesson 20. Because lesson 20 gave you everything you need to know about scoring. And if this video doesn't answer all of your questions, then feel free to ask your neighbors. They're smart, and so are you. And until I see you again, have fun with lesson 23.